What's good, Storm fans? It's Bryant Cook, and today we are playing Pioneer Neoform. I played this deck about 2 weeks ago. You can find that video in the card above. A ton of people loved it. Canister played it on stream and went 8-2, said it was super powerful. I was not clickbaiting you. This deck is super good. I've played it in a handful of leagues since then, and I have some thoughts. So the first thing is that Consider was really lackluster. Yes, it fills the graveyard for our Delve creatures. And actually, let's rewind just a little bit. So let's say you skip that first video for some reason and you're unwilling to watch that video that I just linked in the card above, even though you should definitely go watch it. But this deck is really simple in how it works. You want to cast one of these Delve creatures, and you need cards to fill the graveyard for that. So we play Otherworldly Gaze, Contingency Plan, Taigam Scheming, and then we cast this, play Neoform, sacrificing the Delve creature, and then get Velomachus Lorehold. And with the +1/+1 counter from Neoform, we're able to cast spells that cost 6. So we're able to get and cast Karn's Temporal Sundering and part the Waterveil to take an extra turn and keep on attacking with the Velomachus. So Consider doesn't really actually do anything meaningful for the Delve threats. It's kind of just an in-between card, which isn't really what we're looking for. So I've never really enjoyed it in this deck, and I've played a bunch with it, and today is going to be my first time playing Invoke Calamity. A bunch of you in the comments section in that first video really pressured me to try this card. Honestly, I don't love it from a theory perspective, just because we have 8 cards in our deck that already don't do anything until we're winning. Now we just went up to 10. That said, in some of my testing, I would have a turn 3 Velomachus, and then I would lose to Winota because I whiffed on the time lock effects. So I'm willing to try it out, especially because I can't think of another consistency card I would like to play instead of Consider. If you have a better consistency card that I'm not thinking of, feel free to hit me up in the comments section. I'd love to hear it. But for today, I'm going to make at least some of you happy, and I'm going to try out this 5-mana red instant. So if you're unfamiliar with Invoke Calamity, you can cast up to 2 instants or sorceries from your graveyard with a total mana value of 6 or less, exile them, so you're able to flash back these time lock effects. That's all it's there for. It can't really help you otherwise, but I'm going to try it today, see how it goes. In the sideboard, Abrupt Decay over Witherbloom Command. I loved Witherbloom in that first video. It was really good. The problem is that Spirits has really been on the rise, and it's just sort of been a liability for me. So I'm going to play Abrupt Decay instead, get past Spirits. It hits Spell Queller, a Mausoleum Wanderer, and a bunch of other stuff. And it clears up things like Rest in Peace or Grafdigger's Cage, whatever it be. Dress over Swan Song. I'm actually pretty confident in this decision. So if you think of the natural play pattern of this deck, you want to go turn 1 1-drop, turn 2 Contingency Plan, turn 3 Delve Threat Neoform. If you have to hold open a mana for Swan Song, you're now a turn 4 deck, which gives your opponent more time. But if we have very few 1-mana spells, we have 8 of them. So if you can increase that with Duress to play your protection spell on the first turn, it's going to make you a little bit better of a deck, in my opinion. So I'm interested in playing the Duress. Fatal Push is primarily just for aggro decks or to slow down Winota, but really for like mono red, that sort of thing. And then Leyline of Sanctity for the Rakdos mid-range decks that are very popular on Magic Online. That's my deck tech. That's what I've got. If you have any questions, suggestions, whatever, you know what to do. And for now, I'll see you in the first round. Yeah, don't go anywhere. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to click that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. That said, there's no better way of showing your support than becoming a member of this channel. You get sweet perks, and we get to keep making combo content. The perks get better and better each level you go up. They also stack. To start off, with our Storm Fan tier, you unlock our private members section of our Discord, which comes with a highlighted user profile and then some awesome badges and emotes for YouTube. Looking for sideboard help? Become a Stormtrooper, our middle tier, for 2 sideboard guides of your deck choice every single month, on top of 50% off donation decks. Did we mention you also get 10% off merchandise from our shop? With our top tier, the Combo Cabal, you get a free donation deck every single month, 15% off merchandise from our shop, early access to private deck lists, and the most valuable perk in my opinion, videos early. That's right, you heard it, early access to all videos. But maybe sweet perk, secret deck list, early access to videos isn't for you, but you'd still like to show your appreciation. Make sure to check out theepicstorm.com/shop for card singles and Storm swag. Please don't forget to use your membership discounts. Finally, if you want to see your combo deck here on this very YouTube channel, make sure to visit theepicstorm.com/donation decks, where all you have to do is attach your TXT file and pick a donation tier. With our Epic tier, you can even join me in a video to showcase your bold brew in person and explain the ins and outs of your strategy. Card availability won't be an issue due to our new sponsor, Card Hoarder. With Card Hoarder, renting is super easy. If you're looking to get into Magic Online, there isn't a better, more affordable solution than Card Hoarder. Fun fact, you can rent the Epic Storm for 7 tickets a week, which is just a great deal. There are many ways you can support us. Just pick whatever is best for you. In the meantime, let's play some Magic. Alright, welcome to the first round. We're on the play. Alright, so Invoke Calamity not being considered here doesn't matter. This hand is just obviously a mulligan. Okay, so here we have the Delve creature and some interaction. What we're missing here is the Neoform effect. I think we can afford to keep this bottom, the Karn's Temporal Sundering. Opponent with a mulligan to 5. Okay. So we're going to start off with this Blooming Marsh. Thoughtseize. Goodbye, Llanowar Elf. Pass the turn. Slow that hand down a little bit. What is this? Okay, that card's not really relevant. So at this point, we're just digging for Neoform. Speaking of the devil. Alright. We do need to pass the turn next turn, which is kind of unfortunate. I'm going to keep both of these. I don't think it really matters. Alright, draw. Play this Breeding Pool tapped. And then let's play a monkey. Pass that turn. And by having the land drop available, we'll be able to cast this Otherworldly Gaze before we attack with the dragon to help find that additional Time Walk effect. Draw. Okay, so we're going to cast Neoform. Velomachus, and then Otherworldly Gaze. Okay. So we're going to keep this Karn's Temporal Sundering on top of our deck. Get in there. Triggers. Oh no, I accidentally milled it. Whoops. That was a mistake. My bad. Okay. So a little bit punished. Draw. Okay, so let's cast this Taigam Scheming. Okay, we can mill those. I'm going to leave both of these on top. And then, ouch, play Tasigur. Okay. Attack. Triggers. And the opponent has conceded the game. Alright, game 1 goes to the good guys. Let's switch this back to card view. Sorry, I was cubing, and I prefer pile view for cube, but otherwise I like card view. Alright, so we're facing mono green. I mean, I could board in Fatal Push over the Thoughtseize, but I'm not sure if they have any other hate that I care about. Maybe something like a Grafdigger's Cage. So maybe I actually want Abrupt Decay just to make sure they don't cage me. Let's try this. Game 2, we've opened up on Neoform, but we don't have anything to fill our graveyard up or a Delve threat. I think we're supposed to mulligan this. It's just too slow. So we have Delve threats, no Neoform, no way to fill the yard. I'm going to go to 5. And I think that this is the best hand we've seen. So I'm going to put Part the Waterveil on the bottom and the mana confluence. I think that it's not unlikely that we'll draw a third land on curve, so I'm just gonna play to the average thing happening. That way I have this Otherworldly Gaze to help me dig towards Neoform. We picked up a Hoots, Fiora, and they can untap a permanent. They do. Another elf, you got it. Alright. Otherworldly Gaze. No Neo, so we're just gonna mill. Take our turn, draw. Land? We hit the land. Okay, so now we just have to find the Neoform. Contingency Plan, and we found it. So I like keeping the time locks in the deck if I can help it, because it just gives you more cards to potentially find with your dragon. Or if you just mill them for no reason, you could potentially be burned. Okay, so the Stomper. You got it. Mono green cards. Nykthos. They can now activate that. 5 mana. Karn. Uh-oh. If they have a cage. Ah, they have a cage, and I don't have Abrupt Decay. It's brutal. And I know that there's a Time Walk on top of my deck that I don't care about. Okay. I guess I have this Otherworldly Gaze that I can flash back. Oh no, I can't because of the cage. Ah, geez. Okay. I thought for sure I was going to get to turn 3 them there when they just played a Stomper that I didn't care about. Karn activates again. God Pharaoh's statue. Alright, I think I'm comfortable in saying that I've lost this game. I'm just going to go to the next one. So you might be thinking, do I want to bring in Thoughtseize instead of the Abrupt Decays so that way I can discard Karn? The problem is, Thoughtseize doesn't beat the top of their deck, and I literally can't beat Grafdigger's Cage. So if I wanted to, I could board out these Invoke Calamities, but I risk being less consistent. But I might be okay with that. So let's try setting these out for and keeping a couple copies of Thoughtseize. Let's try this. My hand is pretty good for a mulligan to 5 as well. Alright, but now it's game 3. We have a chance at redemption. We have everything we need here other than land 3 and Neoform, so I'm definitely keeping this. Opponent takes a mulligan to 5. Ouch. Pass that turn. Forest, Elf. Okay, let's cast the Otherworldly Gaze. We're just going to mill these because none of them are Neoform. Take a draw. There's land 3. Okay. Plan. Alright, so we're going to mill a Velomachus here. I don't love that, but we just have to find Neoform. So, here we go. Both of Nissa. They pick up a Kiora, Nykthos, and another elf. Draw. Tasigur. Okay. I'm just going to play a monkey here. And then I can flash back the Otherworldly Gaze on their end step. Alright, I'm going to pass the turn. Maybe I was supposed to play Tasigur there, because next turn I can't Tasigur and Abrupt Decay, which is probably an error in hindsight. So yeah, I should have played the Tasigur there. Well, I guess I'm rewarded for having Abrupt Decay mana open. They pick up a cage. Well, I guess this way I could actually trample over a blocker for the Karn. I'm going to flash this back. Hey, I'm sorry. It appears my audio dropped out right there. I really have to solve this problem. I've been trying a bunch of different things, but it's tough because I can't replicate it unless I start recording. It's only whenever I'm recording that this happens. It doesn't happen on Discord calls or anywhere else. It's pretty frustrating and it's tough to test because it only happens when I'm recording. So I've been trying out some different things. It's just really frustrating from my perspective. All right, so I'm going to abrupt decay this cage and then Otherworldly Gaze. I thought it was originally because I upped my quality to 4K, and that doesn't appear to be it anymore. So I'm just not sure. It's not the 4K because I've gone back down to standard HD, but that just hasn't mattered. All right, let's pay the proper color mana for this. Actually, I can... All right, this is actually better. I'll play the Tasigur, but then Neoform away the Tasigur. Because this means I only need one time walk to win. Attack. Triggers. I hit the time walk effect. Okay, so we just have lethal. That's match number 1 over Mono Green Devotion. Woot woot. Once again, I'm sorry about the audio issues. I'm going to solve it eventually. Thanks for bearing with me. I'll see you in the second match. If you haven't joined them already, I would recommend opening up our description down below and joining our 7 social media networks. They're each great in their own way, but I would strongly suggest joining our Discord server. In there, you will find others just like you looking to improve their Storm game and grow as a combo community. If you're a member of our YouTube channel, you should sync your account to Discord to unlock our private member section that has the latest and greatest deck lists, concepts, and much, much more. Let's get back to comboing out. Alright, second match. We're on the draw. I've tried swapping out my USB-C cord, or whatever it is that the Yeti uses. So the way that my computer you probably don't even care, and I'm just talking anyway, but I had to buy an extension cord or a longer cord because the Yeti switched from coming with a 10-foot cord to a 6-foot cord when you buy a new one. And I replaced my mic not too long ago, and I was pretty upset that it was a 6-foot. So I went out and bought a separate 10-foot cord that actually came with 2. I just swapped in the other one. Hopefully that solves the problem, but I don't actually know. Just trying it out. Anyway, we're on the draw. This hand is amazing. We're definitely going to keep this. The only thing we could possibly want is land number 3, and to not see the second Velomachus. Turn 1 forest. There's the land I asked for. Okay. Looking good. Alright, so they're on green-black. Draw. Alright, we'll play Sanctum. And let's cast this Contingency Plan. Alright, not finding Velomachus here was very good for us. So we want to leave one card just so we don't accidentally draw the other Velomachus. So I think we just leave this part, the Waterveil, on top. Alright. Oh, that's a cute interaction. I like that. When you have it with Urborg, it just, you know, does it all. Liliana, you got it. That was really cute. I like that. Their opponent's on Jund. Brimflare triggers. Actually, I think I might have... I was supposed to mill the other part, the Waterveil, and leave this on top. Because I think it's actually better when I have one Invoke Calamity in my deck to have... I guess it's all going to be escaped away anyway. Alright, it probably doesn't matter. Okay, so Tasigur, we can use the Botanical Sanctum to tap for black and not lose 2 life because our opponent played this Urborg. Green and then blue. Neoform. Alright, dragons on the battlefield. Attack. Triggers. This is what I was afraid of, not hitting the time walk, because now the Liliana can stop the Velomachus. I'm going to Thought Seize them in case they have a removal spell. And they don't. They also don't have the land for Chariot. Doesn't really make us any sense to take a Fable, so I think we take the Grimflyer. And then have to pass the turn. It's unfortunate because we're not going to be able to time walk off the Velomachus. Yep, down to a lonely 4/5. There's Fable. Draw. Another Neoform. Alright, so we need to kill the Lily here. Might as well cast this. And we want to leave the Karns on top. So we're going to mill this, click OK, and then we want to draw the land. Alright, so we're looking for a turn of no whammies here. They do get to draw 2, discard 2 off the Fable. Discarded another Lily. That's surprising, because Lily would stop us from time walking. They take apart. Black mana. Deathray Shaman. Okay. And it should just be easy peasy from here, because we know that there's a time walk on top. Alright, we'll take an extra turn and bounce this Goblin. And if I draw a land for turn, I can just cast the Waterveil. Alright, wrong kind of land, but let's go for it. Attack, this will put them to 1. We get another Karn's Temporal Sundering, bounce the Grimflare, and that'll do. Okay, so we got game number 1 over Jund. A deck that is not super popular in Pioneer from my experience. I think we definitely want these ley lines. Take out Thoughtseize. And then I'm going to hedge a little bit. I'm going to do 2 Abrupt Decay. I'm not sure if this is a card I actually want or not. So I'm only going to do 2. And I think I'm actually going to board out the Invokes. We don't want cards in our deck that we know are going to be bad. So we're already boarding in ley lines. There's only so many like dead draws I can afford, I feel like. So this hand has everything we could possibly want other than 2 lands. I think we're supposed to just be more disciplined in mulligan. Much better. Okay, no ley line, so we are weak to discard spells. Forest. And a Deathrite. Play the Sanctum, pass the turn. Land. And a Grimflare. Ouch. So we're looking for a Delve threat. Otherworldly Gaze. We had a Velomachus. That's not desirable. Alright, come on, Delve threat. Draw. No! Ah. That just made this game very difficult. We're not technically dead, but it's gonna be tough. Okay, so Contingency Plan. There is a card that theoretically could have gotten around this. I forget what it's called, but basically it has flashback. Turn the Earth. That's what it's called, I believe. You can shuffle up to 3 cards in any graveyard into their opponent's deck. You gain 2. I just feel like that card's really lackluster. You could play it over the, what is it called? Invoke Calamity slot. But I don't think it's good. I don't know. Honestly, I value my time. I'm just going to pick this one up. I'm sorry. If you wanted to see me grind this one out, I'm sorry. It's just, I don't know. I don't think it's realistic, and I have stuff to do today, so I'm sorry. We're going to resubmit this. We're not likely to win the game where we have no Velomachus. On the play. Sure. We don't have Neoform, but it has pretty much everything else. Sanctum passed the turn. Okay, Riveter's Outlook. Riveteer's Outlook. My bad. Otherworldly Gaze. And it looks like we hit some hoots. We don't need those, though. Alright, looking for Neoform. Scheming. I wonder if I should leave both hoots. Yeah, I think I'm going to leave this on top. So it plays around a discard spell on hoots, but also next turn I can just deploy a pair of 4/4s, which might be good enough when backed by Abrupt Decay. Alright, rewarded for my decision. They played a forest. I'm just going to play the Confluence here. And let's play a hoot. We can flash back the Otherworldly Gaze on their end step. Oh, I tapped for the wrong color. That's annoying. Alright. Let's try this again. Green. Okay. Passing the turn. So then now they have perfect Jund mana. Brutality. So they're going to get my decay here. Okay, we'll flash back. We're just going to mill these. I don't want any of those. And then I can actually flash back Otherworldly Gaze in my upkeep in case I hit a Neoform. No Neoforms. Draw. Perfect. Get in there. Angry Ape. Fabled Passage. So we're over a third of our deck at this point. I've not seen a single Neoform. I don't know what this does. Whenever it deals damage to a player, look at the top card of your library. You may play a land from the top of your library or cast a spell less than or equal to the number of damage from the top of your library without paying its mana cost if you don't put that card to your hand and has Blitz. Okay. Neoform. There we go. Blue, green. The Neoform. Get the dragon. Rar. Trigger. Karn's Temporal Sundering. Bounce this expensive 4-drop. You'll love to see it. Alright, draw. Play this tapped. Get in there. We just need to hit one time walk. And we did. So it looks like we're about to be 2-0. Draw. And attack. Sure. Okay. Wooch wooch. 2-0. No audio issues this round. Let's hope it stays that way. Playing your favorite combo deck in Paper just got so much easier with the Epic Storm Mini Token Pack. You can pick one up at theepicstorm.com/shop for $13. It includes 64 double-sided mini tokens. That's 128 tokens total. And they include 10 black, 10 blue, 10 red, 5 green, 5 white, 3 colorless, 20 storm counters. That means that you can count your way all the way up to 20 for Grape Shot, everyone's favorite Stormwind condition, a Galvanic Relay Exile Indicator, 4 treasure tokens for Strike It Rich, and then 10 monk tokens for our vintage friends. It also has Slime Time Live, 8 Progenitor Ooze tokens with the power and toughness already built in to make playing in Paper so much easier. No fumbling around with dice. We've got you covered. Make sure to go grab those if you're playing Modern. And then Squirrels versus Goblins, Chatterstorm versus Empty the Warrens, the Battle of the Ages. You definitely need 20 Squirrel tokens and 20 Goblin tokens. You're going to love this mini token pack, I promise. And once again, you can grab that at theepicstorm.com/shop. Match 3 on the play with Neoform. Good hand. We'll try it out. Have to find Neoform, but it has literally everything else we could want. Our opponent reveals a Yorion, which might tell us that they're on a control deck. We do have 4 Thoughtseize in our main deck, which a lot of people don't play that do play this deck, but I think that 4 Thoughtseize is a requirement, and it looks like they are in fact Azorius control. Okay, I think I'm gonna ouch here and play the Scheming, looking for Neoform. No Neo. So I'm wondering if I keep the Hoots. This is card number 5. Yeah, I think I'm going to keep the Hoots on top. Maybe try to pressure them with creatures to create an opening. Okay. Draw. Tasigur. And I'm actually going to do this, so that way I have one more card to delve away later, and I can pay for a sensor here. Okay. Omen of the Sea. Alright, so they're still holding open mana. Now we're going to Otherworldly Gaze on their end step, which could be hit by sensor. It's kind of a lackluster card to cast a sensor on, though. Yeah, we don't want any of these. Draw. I'm trying to think. I can't represent having... Alright, I think I'm just going to move to combat. So I could play the Hooting Mandrills and represent Neoform, but I have to delve this away, and I don't want to do that. They cycle farmland. Land number 4. They still have 7 cards. Alright, let's flashback first. 3 lands, we can get rid of those. And let's try this Otherworldly Gaze. We found the Neo. Alright, we're going to put Velomachus. I don't know. I really want to find a Thoughtseize. Let's see if they counter this. Hooting Mandrills. Paying costs. Absorb. Okay, I have a window here. Neoform? Hey. Alright, let's hit that time walk. Attack, trigger. No time walk, unfortunately. Thoughtseize. At this point, we're just looking to take away their removal. They can't cast Farewell. They could march it. We're just going to take the march. And then I have to pass, unfortunately. Alright, so we are vulnerable here. So they're playing towards the Farewell. Let's cast a Contingency Plan here, looking for a time walk. I'm going to leave the Thoughtseize on top as a backup. Let's attack. Trigger. Ah, geez. Okay, Thoughtseize. Ooh, they have the Deluge. I have to take the Farewell. Okay. That was rough. Alright, no whammies. They just found 2 cards off this. Teferi would answer our dragon. And they conceded. Wow! I feel like I got away with murder there. That was really lucky. Okay, so we definitely want Duress. I think that you can actually afford to cut the Invoke Calamities here and then the Otherworldly Gaze, because you don't want card disadvantage in this matchup, and then you just want a couple copies of Abrupt Decay for something like Rest in Peace. You do have 8 discard spells for Rest in Peace as well, but just in case one resolves, you want an answer for it. Game 2, we've opened up essentially 2 blanks. So this is a 5-card hand where we don't have Neoform, we don't have a Delve threat, no discard spells. I think that we can do better. Alright, so this hand's pretty good. The only things we could ask for are one of the mill effects in land number 3. Irrigated farmland, draw. Did not want a time walk. Alright, Thoughtseize. I think we just take the Deluge. Alright. They played a Glacial Fortress. Draw. Alright, no mill effect. That was a concern when we boarded out Otherworldly Gaze. I still think it was the correct choice. Alright. Draw. Another Mandrills. We have to pass. Land number 4. Draw. Okay. A little bit of a slow start here. Cycle Shark Typhoon. Okay. Land number 5. Definitely feel like we're behind this game. Duress. I think I want to hang on to that. I don't really gain anything by casting it right here, so why bother? Where like later on our opponent might like accidentally create an opening. Like they could tap out for Teferi, leave 2 up, we duress into, you know, the plan or something. There's just not a lot to be gained by playing this into the known counter spells that hit it. Okay, draw. That was a good one. Let's see if it resolves though. And it does. I think I'm actually going to keep the backup Thoughtseize. Put that on top. Pass the turn. Omen of the Sea. They can actually sacrifice Omen if they wanted to scry 2 there, and they didn't. So it's worth noting, they only have triple blue. I'm going to 9. Okay, so I could try to play a Mandrills here. I would remove 2 cards from the graveyard, which doesn't really do... Like, honestly, this is just sort of free, because it almost acts as like a duress effect. They either counterspell it, or it benefits me next turn. Really would love to see land number 5 next turn, and untapped land number 5. You got it. So 1 absorb down. Another Omen. So now they're attacking for 3 and I go to 5. Come on, untapped land number 5. It has to be a shock or a mana confluence. It cannot be one of the fast lands. Draw. No dice. Let's attempt a duress. So they can march. So if I play Tasigur, they might absorb it. So I have to escape 3, which means that next turn I wouldn't be able to tap my confluence. I don't think this works. It also just puts me dead to end step, make a token, untap to fairy attack. Alright. I think I just sort of have to hope for the best here. Looks like they are going to absorb. Okay, so technically I mean, assuming they don't draw a counter spell, we have Tasigur into Neoform next turn. What I'm lacking here is cards in graveyard. I would need one more card in graveyard. I'm at 2. Thoughtseize is shut off, and another Mana Confluence won't do it. So, if I Thoughtseize, I'm dead. Yeah, they just got me. Alright, game 3. Alright, not the end of the world. I'm just going to resubmit. Game 3, we will be on the play. Thoughtseize, Neoform, and a Scheming, so we just have to find a Delve threat with this hand. And land number 3, I guess, being a green source. Yes. Ouch. Thoughtseize. I don't really care about Narset. I think we just take the Absorb. Because we can also play around March somewhat. Okay. Draw. Not the Delve threat or land 3. Scheming. Alright, that has everything we want. Alright, so I'm going to put Tasigur and then the Breeding Pool. Land 2. Draw. I'm going to play around Censor or the Jawari, whatever it's called. Description, I think. Pass. Are they going to cycle Shark Typhoon? Ooh, they have the March. Okay, so they drew a white card for turn. They're 1 short. They can't do it. They can march for 5, but not for 6. It just has to be Cycle Shark Typhoon. Yeah. I'd love if they tapped out for Narset here. I don't know if they'll do that, though. Alright, I think this is my window. I'm just going to peanut butter and jam. Green, blue. Did you draw a counterspell? They did. Ah, brutal. Ah, geez. Okay. We knew their hand. They had to draw it. I think I'm out of the game at this point because we had these 2 dead cards in our hand. Ah, bummer. Hall of the Storm Giants. I mean, we're just out of this at this point. Now we're flooding. Here's the Narset. Does March say non-land? Okay, it does not. So if hypothetically, if I got up to the Awakened mana, March could just exile it for a single mana, which is kind of ridiculous. Let's just decay this. I tapped wrong. Omen. It's tough too, because once again, our opponent's a Yorion deck, which means that their odds of drawing a Dovin's Veto there was pretty slim, and there's not too many like 2-mana counterspells that mattered there, especially ones that they play. So realistically, we saw the Jawari description. They have Censor, Absorb. So it could have been like Dovin's Veto or maybe Negate, even if it's in their deck list. I don't know. I think I'm going to hang on to that. It doesn't do us any favors to play it. Shark Typhoon. You got it. Alright, Shark gets in. I'm at 8. Draw. Velomachus, my dear friend. Oh, I can't cast this because I don't have a legendary. That's right. I guess I can cast Part the Waterveil. I forgot about this being a legendary sorcery. Okay. Almost out of my misery. If my opponent draws an untapped land, I'm dead. They did not. Regardless, I mean, realistically, I'm probably dead, so it doesn't matter. Um, Draw. And we're out of it. So, you might be looking at this game thinking, like, well, you lost to a counterspell. So, the counterspell we lost to was Dovin's Veto. I just want to make note of this because this spell can't be countered, which means that something like Swan Song wouldn't have been an effective answer. And we never saw duress in any meaningful capacity, so it's not like that sideboard decision ultimately mattered. Uh, Sometimes you lose a games of magic, and that's just something that happens in the game. No matter how good or bad you are, everybody loses. So here, I lost to a timely draw from the opponent. It happens. Not going to let it beat me up. I'm just going to move on to the next one. I hope to see you there. Hey, you're still watching. Don't forget to like this video, leave a comment, and subscribe. If you're looking to make a purchase from Card Hoarder, TCG Player, or Amazon and are looking to support us, you can open up our description down below, and in there you will find our affiliate links. Those same links are found on the homepage of the Epic Storm. But that's not all. We've included a Card Hoarder button on our website that will load the Epic Storm in your Card Hoarder cart to make life simple for you. Match 4 Neoform Keep. So this hand is literally perfect. I think the only complaint that you could even possibly make about this hand is that the Invoke Calamity isn't the third land that we need. Alright, we're facing Spirits, tough matchup. And there's land number 3. Okay. So we're looking for our opponent to tap out on the third turn and not have Mausoleum Wanderer. Tough ask. Okay. Are they going to level up their spirit? Not so sure. Okay. They get in. We'll go to 17. And let's just cast this Otherworldly Gaze. I like the backup Neoform. Let's keep this. Draw. Let's play the Scheming here. Alright, so I actually think that this was pretty good. We're going to keep an extra backup Delve threat so that way we can back-to-back Neoform. Put this on top, pass that turn. They level their spirit, and now we're really hoping that they just go to the third level here. Do it. Do it. It'll be good for you. Ah, that damn Mausoleum Wanderer. 2 of them! Ah, that's brutal. That's really rough. And I'm punished here for keeping the second Tasigur instead of the Hoots. Okay. So I think we just play a Tasigur. Pass the turn. Furious Obsession. So now I need 3 mana to get through. That's tough. I don't think I'm getting this one. Alright, so we'll attack first because it's sort of free. And then let's attempt a Neoform. Okay, so we're not going to win. So we're going to just move to the second game. Alright, so our hand was really good, but this is a tough matchup, so that's what it can be like. Alright, so we want Abrupt Decay, we definitely want Duress. We might even want the Fatal Pushes, I'm not sure. The problem with that is what do you take out, because we're already boarding in so much. So I'm going to board out this Otherworldly Gaze, and when we do that, we're still 2 over, which is really tough, because I want for Decay and for Duress. Like, our opponent's deck actually has a lot of cards we want to discard, so I think we do want this. It's tough, because there's really not a whole lot to board out. Maybe you go down to 2 duress versus a deck like Spirits, even though they do have like 12 counters. Or you could go down to 6 mill spells, but that's really dangerous. You could maybe shave a Time Walk effect. Let's shave 1 Time Walk and 1 duress. Let's try this. Game 2 on the play. Sure. Keep. We have to find Neoform. Alright, our opponent mulliganed to 6. Watery Grave, we'll go to 18, and then lead off on Thoughtseize because they can hit creatures where this duress can't. Lofty Denial. I think we just take the Shacklegeist. Because this could theoretically tap down the Velomachus later. Island. Draw. Alright, I'm just gonna play the scheming here. No Neoform, but we did accidentally reveal I guess it's not an accident, but we revealed the Velomachus, which we didn't want. I think we just have to mill everything. Pass the turn, they'll flash in their Spectral Sailor. Yep. And now they have this Lofty Denial available. You got it. Draw. Let's play the duress. Surprise, surprise. Breeding Pool, pass. So it's unfortunate that we ended up with double Breeding Pool here just because I can't play Tasigur and Abrupt Decay. They have the Shacklegeist. Draw. And another Breeding Pool. Okay, so I'm going to play the Tasigur. Have to pass. So our opponent has 2 cards in hand. We know one of them is this snow-covered island because they're being cheeky and played a bunch of different versions. This sort of stuff does cost you. Yeah, you get to feel cool playing a bunch of different snow islands, but I have information here. Alright, so they now have 2 unknowns. They can draw a card with the Sailor. Move to combat. Okay. So they can activate the Sailor. We're going to let that go. And I want to see if they want to try to suit up one of their creatures, so that way I could potentially decay it. Wanderer, that's fine. Interesting. Alright, I'm going to decay this. Alright, we're pretty much all in on Tasigur beats at the moment. I could try to cast it. They have 2 unknown spells. We don't have any protection. I think I'm going to hold off. Maybe activate Tasigur on their end step. And they're drawing a card with the Sailor. Up to 6 lands. And we're racing. I'm at 10. Let's activate Tasigur. Alright, activate. So I'm going to mill 2, and then our opponent can pick a non-land card to return to my hand. It's probably going to be the scheming. Although I'd love a discard spell. Ooh, they picked Thoughtseize. Okay. Draw. Let's cast it. If their hand is blanks, I can just play the Neoform. Okay, let's attack. I think I'm actually going to try to create a window here. I actually can't because of the Wanderer. So let's cancel. I want to try to sculpt here with the Tasigur. Let's remove the scheming because I don't want that. So if they counterspell this, if they didn't have a Wanderer, I can Neoform. But, you know, that's not what happened. And I think at this point, we're just trying to race them. Curious Obsession. So we'll take 3 here, going to 7. Or, I'm sorry, they chose not to attack with a Wanderer, so I'm going to 8. 4 cards in hand for the opponent. Land number 7. Drawing a card main phase. Alright. Draw. Let's Thoughtseize and see what they're working with. If this gets countered, we could Neoform because this is only a 1/1. Alright, we can't Neoform anymore. I'm gonna let that go. Alright, let's get in. So they can chump block the Tasigur, but this monkey has trample. So they're going to 4. No need to cast this Neoform. Another Curious Obsession. Main phase activate, okay. So they'll attack, and I'm going to go to 5. So they need something here, or otherwise the monkey kills them with the trample damage. 2 mana. Supreme Phantom. Okay, and then they played a land. Draw. Alright, I think I'm just going to attack here. I think it's too risky to try to Neoform them when they have to double block. So this tramples over for 1. They go to 3. Let's try the scheming. Come on, counter it. Yes. Alright, so now I can put the Velomachus in play. Get rid of this Tasigur. We have a big flying blocker. They activate the Sailor. I can't help but wonder if maybe I should have Fatal Push in my deck. Ooh, I think we got it. Okay. So do I want to try bringing in Fatal Push? So risky. So one thing I could do is I could just take out part the Waterveil and just say, hey, if we get Velomachus in play, that's awesome, but there's only going to be 4 time lock effects. I think that's my plan here, is we're just going to try to be a more controlling combo deck and just accept that our combo isn't going to be as deterministic. This hand's really, really good. We're going to keep this. Island into... I was hoping for it to not be that. We're going to Thoughtseize. Hopefully they'll counter. I need this off the table. Alright, Phantom down. Alright, Fatal Push or Abrupt Decay off the top. Let's go. Supreme... Oh, they drew Curious Obsession! What a good draw! Wow. That's rough. Okay. What a good draw. Decay? Nope. Alright, see what I can find. Plan. There's Abrupt Decay. I think I'm actually going to leave the Thoughtseize on top. Alright. Land. So they're getting in. I'm at 10 life. They have 4 cards. They have a Grafdigger's Cage. Jeez. I think I just have to deal with the Wanderer right now, and I'll have to come back for this later. Because I can't beat this on the table. Or maybe I can. I have to think about this. What does this thing become? Let's play Mandrills first. That resolved. Okay. I don't have to decay on my main phase. We can try to get a little bit more info out of them. Okay. So I still know that they have an island in hand. They have 2 unknowns. So something I could do next turn is, so let's talk through our lines. I can either Abrupt Decay the Wanderer and live with this Faithless, or the Cage in play, but they have the Faithless Haven in play, which means that I can't ever really get in there with the Mandrills. So I think what I need to do here is hope that the other 2 unknown cards in our opponent's hand are just kind of garbage. It becomes a 4/4. I don't really want to do that. Okay, so I think I'm on the... I'm sorry, they have 3 unknown cards. So this is a little bit of wishful thinking, but I think it's really the only line that I have. Alright, so black, green, Abrupt Decay. Have to get rid of the cage. So it needs to be 3 blanks, pretty much, because even a flash creature here would mean that the Wanderer counterspells the Neoform. Alright. Looks like they have it. Yep, okay. They got me. So we are now 2-2. Not the best record, but let's chin up, try to win match number 5. If you're looking for more great Magic the Gathering content, definitely check out the Eternal Glory podcast. It is myself, Bryant Cook, alongside Brian Koval and Phil Gallagher. We primarily discuss Legacy. That said, a lot of what we talk about transcends all formats. We're available on all major podcast platforms. Let's get our money back. It's the final round. We're on the play. I think we can do better than this. Neoform, Tasigur, Thoughtseize. All we're missing here is the 2-mana spell to fuel us into Tasigur. I'm going to try this out. Alright, lead off on the Blooming Marsh and cast Thoughtseize. Yikes. Okay, so they have almost an unthoughtseizable hand, really. I guess I just take the Innkeeper. But I really need to rip the 2-mana Enabler on our turn, or even an Otherworldly Gaze. Okay, draw. Bummer. Okay, have to pass. I think there's like a 1-turn window here where we can probably allow the Winota to come down. If I can just rip the mill spell on my next draw step, I think we'd be okay. Ouch. Okay. Draw. That hurts. Okay. I think I've lost this one. We had 12 cards to hit there, and we missed on 2 draw steps in a row. And now Winota comes down with 1 trigger. And they choose to play the Chariot instead. Yeah, I mean, it probably doesn't matter. Even if I draw... I guess if I draw into exactly Otherworldly Gaze, I can win on my turn. So I guess we'll hope for that. Draw. So you're saying there's a chance. Alright, we have to mill all 3. Alright. Tasigur. And then Neoform. Come on, deck. We've milled 1 Time Walk, so we have 7 Time Walks left. 7 Time Walks, 47 cards. That means roughly every 7 cards should be a Time Walk. Let's go. Trigger. Karn's Temporal Sundering. We'll bounce the Chariot. Why not? Okay. So now we get to untap. Hopefully find a card that we can use to put a... There we go. Perfect. To put a Time Walk on top of our deck. None of these are Time Walks, so we will mill all of them. Flash it back. And we will keep this on top. Put it on top of the deck. Play the Tasigur. There we go. Get in there. Trigger. Turns Temporal Sundering. We'll take an extra turn, bounce a cat. And that's just lethal. Draw. We did it. We did it. All right. So now we have to get a post-board game. I'm definitely interested in Fatal Push and some number of Abrupt Decay. I'm not sure how many. So the reason that I say that is yesterday I was playing a league and I just straight up disrespected my opponent. I took all the decays out for game 3 and they slammed Rest in Peace. And I was like, that's why I need that in the deck. It just completely blanked me and I lost. So I don't think you can only do Fatal Push. All right, let's take the Thought Seizes out, and maybe we just try this. I mean, that's 61, so let's do 3 and 3. I'm not a fan of Invoke Calamity. That card felt so bad. I knew that this was going to happen when I signed up for the league today, with just playing a blank piece of cardboard in your deck. This card sucks. I shouldn't have played it. Do I think it's better than Consider? Probably not. Do I like Consider? No. So if there's some sort of secret card that you have an idea of what that slot should be, let me know. You could play Turn the Earth there, the card that shuffles in the extra Velomachus. I'm not a fan of that idea, just because it's another blank piece of cardboard for the most part. And in situations where you need it, you not only have to mill both copies of Velomachus, which is pretty unlikely, you then also have to have this additional third piece in case that unlikely thing would happen in order for it to be relevant. So not a huge fan. Some other cards I've considered, Wishclaw Talisman, but I'm not sure if that's really what we want. It's really setting you up for like a turn 4 win, but it would give you something like Neoform. And Wishclaw Talisman's pretty much the same as when I was playing Solve the Equation, and I also didn't like that slot. So, all right. This hand's fantastic. We will keep. We're just looking for a Neoform. Stomping Ground tapped. Okay, draw. Another Tasigur. Well, choosing to play out the Blooming Marsh here so that way I can Fatal Push. Maybe I should have played the Otherworldly Gaze. I don't know. Alright, I'm just gonna get rid of this now. Probably doesn't matter. So next turn I'm playing Otherworldly Gaze into Tasigur. And we are looking for Neoform. So I can choose to play Tasigur now, or I can keep the Contingency Plan. I think I am going to... This is a tough call. I think I'm going to keep it. I think Tasigur being on the board doesn't matter as much as me just finding the Neoform. Alright, they have 4 mana. Fable of the Mirror Breaker. Draw. Let's play the Contingency Plan. We're up to K, but no Neo. Alright, I think I'm just going to mill everything. We just have to hope. And I still have this Otherworldly Gaze in the graveyard as well. Tasigur. Alright, we need to find Neoform. We're just about a third of the way through our deck. They get to loot with the Fable. They discard Winota, which is kind of shocking. So that means that they likely have multiples. So they play Path. Chariot. Okay. Come on, Neoform off the top rope. Draw. No dice. I'm going to just pass here and hope that I get to live to untap. So now Fable goes to the third chapter, flips over. The Reflection of Kiki-Jiki. Here's Winota. You know what? Okay, they must have not tapped this for red. So they'll get 4 triggers here. I'm probably dead. But if for some reason that I'm not, we do get to look 6 cards deep for a Neoform. Pretty unlikely that I get to live here. So I can block the Chariot with Tasigur. I guess they miffed on their first one. Okay, so that's unfortunate. They missed on the second one too, wow. And the third. Jeez. Okay. So we're going to block the Chariot. Oh, I didn't switch phases, my bad. I was trying to figure out what happened there. I kept on clicking, and it just wasn't doing anything. So let's flashback Otherworldly Gaze. No Neoform. Okay, so we're over 33% at this point. Yep. Alright, keep milling. Kind of just have to hope for the best here. I have the option of upkeep flashing this back, but if I do that, I don't have land 4. So there's no real point to doing that. I kind of just have to hope to, you know, get lucky and draw it. Another Fable, sure. Draw. Bummer. Alright, game 3, here we come. Almost 50% of the way through our deck, never found one. And it's not going to let me see my top card. Okay. I think we just resubmit. The final game of this league. Yeah, this hand's really good. We'll keep this. Once again, we have the turn 1 removal spell, we have the mill spell, we have the delve threats. We just have to find Neoform. Can we do it? Blooming Marsh pass. Alright, so they don't have a turn 1 creature. Draw. Monkey. Play the Scheming. No Neoform. So the question is, do we want to keep this other Scheming on top? And I think the answer is yes. That will help us dig, and it makes fuel for these other delve threats. It just makes a lot of sense to me. Alright, so they have an Innkeeper. Draw. Oh my. Can't believe it was that this whole time. Alright, Scheming. No Neoform. So now I'm put in a spot where, do we keep the Scheming on top again? I think the answer is yes. And we'll just play out the delve threat. It doesn't really matter what we exile because I got rid of the Invoke Calamity. So our opponent has 2 lands, a treasure token, 3 lands and a treasure token, and Prosperous Innkeeper. So they could play Winota here and attack with the Innkeeper. Instead they have this thing. Non-creature spells cost 2 or more. So this really only hits the Time Walk effects. I don't think I care that much about that. Let's play Scheming. No Neoform. So do I want to keep another one of these? Sure. And a little bit of the run bads in these post-sport games. Get in. Okay. Depending on what our opponent does on our next turn, I don't think it would be unreasonable to just consider Fatal Push plus Monkey and be the beatdown. But it really depends on what happens here. Okay. Yikes. Being the beatdown is not really a plan anymore. Okay, so we're taking 11. I think I'm just dead. We know that I have another plan on top. Cast it. I mean, I don't know. Even here, no Neoform. Almost 50% of the way through my deck 2 games in a row. A little bit disappointing. I think it's actually better here to Fatal Push, but it doesn't matter. I'm dead regardless. That was certainly rough. Elf. And I'm dead. I'm not going to make them click through all their triggers. It's fine. Alright, so 2-3 is not a very good record. Can't pretend that I'm happy with that. And I think some of it comes down to our own deck building. Like, this card was not good. There was a bunch of game ones where we drew it. It was just terrible. So I think we want to find a slot for this. You could also argue that maybe you should put 2 Thoughtseize in the board, but I like having 4 of these in the main deck. And then if there's something better than Fatal Push we could be playing, I'd love to hear it. But I'm pretty sold on at least 4 Abrupt Decay for the Spirits matchup. And another thought that I had is there a better 7-drop we can play in the Spirits matchup? Because this is just a thought. Against Spirits, if we could board out 8 Time Walk effects and then 2 dragons and just board into 2, like, here's my thought, 2 Dragon Lord Atarka and just be a deck that beats down with these and Dragon Lord Atarka, it's at least interesting because you wipe their board, you get a giant 8/8. Is that enough? I don't know. But Dragon Lord Atarka certainly seems really interesting to me. So that's an idea. Certainly worth trying, but that's what I've got for this video. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching. Keep storming. Hey, Bryant Cook here. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like and subscribe, but also follow the social media channels down below. If you want to support this content directly, I would recommend going to theepicstorm.com/shop. And if you need a little bit of assistance with the Epic Storm to get to that next level, I would recommend going to theepicstorm.com/tutoring. Don't worry, there's more great content coming right up.